The movie begins in Los Angeles 1977. A young boy named Bobby sneaks into his father's room and takes out an adult mag from under his bed. Bobby checks out the picture of an adult star named Misty Mountains. Suddenly a car rolls down a hill and crashes through their house and out into a ditch. He realizes it is Misty, lying a few feet away from the car naked. When she sees Bobby, she asks, "How do you like my car, big boy?" and dies moments later. Bobby takes off his shirt and covers Misty. We meet enforcer Jackson Healy. He follows a man who has been seeing a 13-year-old girl and consuming pot with her. When the girl leaves, Healy arrives at his house, smacks the man in the face and leaves after telling him to stay away from little girls. A private investigator named Holland March is lying in his bathtub full of water, dressed in a fancy suit. He finds "You will never be happy" written on his hand. He lives with his daughter Holly. He became an alcoholic after the death of his wife. March does not get the best jobs. He comes across an elderly widow who believes her husband has gone missing. March discovers an urn over the fireplace with her husband's name on it. Healy meets a teenage girl named Amelia. She gives him a cow-shaped note in which she has written March's name and address. March is looking for Amelia after being paid by Mrs. Glenn to find her niece, Misty. Mrs. Glenn believes to have seen Misty, who appeared wearing a pinstripe jacket at her window, despite March's insistence that Misty has died and whom she saw was Amelia. March goes to a bar to ask about Amelia, but the bartender threatens him with a bat to make him leave. Later, March tries to break in and smashes the glass, but he cuts his wrist badly in that process and is taken to the hospital. The following morning, Healy shows up at March's home and punches him in the face before kicking him in the stomach. March is warned to stay away from Amelia. March proceeds to get his pistol from the cookie jar, but Healy smacks it out of his hand and then fractures March's arm. Healy meets Holly on his way out, pretending to be a friend of her father. She gives him a bottle of Yoo-hoo. Healy returns home and is attacked by two men, older guy and Blueface. They are looking for Amelia as well. Blueface goes into the next room thinking they found something, only to get sprayed with blue dye. Blueface then shoots at Healy, but Healy manages to escape. March is celebrating Holly's birthday at a bowling alley with her friends. Healy gets there and finds him in the bathroom, but March is armed with a gun. When Healy says he wants him to find Amelia, they sit down to talk about her. March explains Ms. Glenn hired him to find Misty, and when Ms. Glenn went to clean Misty's place 2 days after she died, she saw a woman through the window leaving in her car, and she believed it was Misty, but March ran the plates and found it's Amelia. March then demands Healy a nice pay cut if they have to work together, and Healy agrees. As Healy and March arrive at the Department of Justice building, they notice a few protesters lying on the ground, claiming that the air is toxic and killing them. Amelia has organized that group, so March expects her to be there. After calling for her, some protesters reveal that Amelia isn't there and her lover died 3 days ago. March then offers $20 to anyone willing to help. A guy named Chet joins the two and brings them to Amelia's boyfriend, Dean's house. The home was destroyed by fire. A boy on a bike passes by and demands $20 in exchange for information. He claims to have seen Misty there, and Amelia worked with a man named Sid Hattrack on an experimental film named How Do You Like My Car, Big Boy? Healy and March found a billboard for an adult movie named Pinocchio, produced by Sid Shattuck. March manages to get some information about him, and the two attend a party at Shattuck's to find many adult stars. Holly comes along by stowing away in the car's trunk, but March sends her home in a cab. Healy and March look for information about Amelia. Healy enters a room with costumes and finds a pinstriped jacket that Misty used in the movie, How Do You Like My Car, Big Boy? He then finds a film reel, where he sees a pink cow note with what looks like flight information. He finds Holly in a room with an adult star watching a film. He approaches her and tells her to go home, but Holly won't leave and asks that woman about Amelia, but she denies knowing her. Meanwhile, March gets drunk and stumbles down a hill, where he drops his gun. He notices Amelia but is too drunk to notice it's her. He retrieves the gun and tries to light a cigarette, but his lighter illuminates a dead guy's body. March calls for Healy to inspect the body. Healy searches the man's pockets and discovers that he is Sid Shattuck. March states they should get rid of the body in case Amelia attempts to place him because he stated out loud that he had lost his gun. The two throw Shattuck's body over a fence, which lands on a wedding reception table, shocking everyone. Holly encounters another adult celebrity who knows she has been looking for Amelia. She brings Holly to a limo, where she gets caught up with Blueface. Healy also runs into older guy at the same time. The two fight while older guy attempts to shoot Healy, but Healy takes over and lets him live after beating him down. Blueface notices Amelia and opens the door to shoot her, but Holly closes the door on his hand and tells Amelia to run before fleeing herself. March appears after they have left, but the valet informs him that Holly is in that limo. March takes a vehicle and goes after it. Blueface corners both Holly and Amelia in the middle of the road. A vehicle passes by and hits Blueface. Amelia is prepared to leave, but Holly thinks they need to help Blueface, who is in pain. Amelia flees, and Holly approaches Blueface. Healy arrives and discovers them. Holly leaves for help, and Blueface threatens him by revealing that someone called John Boy will find them and kill him and March. Healy then kills Blueface before Holly returns and is soon joined by March, relieved after finding Holly safe and embracing her. Soon after, the paramedics arrive, as does a detective called Tally, who calls Healy the diner guy. A limo approaches Healy and March. It's Judith Kuttner, the Secretary of Justice. She claims to be Amelia's mother. Healy and March sit in Kuttner's office with her. She reveals that the Vegas gang is trying to grow their adult industry in Los Angeles. Amelia gets involved due to the experimental film she made with Shattuck, which Kuttner believes is the consequence of her troubled relationship with Amelia. But now there is no film as it was destroyed when Dean was killed in his own house as it burned down. She then hires Healy and March to find and protect Amelia. March is lying on the diving board over his pool at his home. March asks Healy why Tally had called him the guy from the diner before. Healy recalls a tale from a year ago about a guy threatening people with a shotgun in a diner. Healy got in and intervened, resulting in a shot to the arm, but he managed to knock the heck out of the attacker. It cost Healy a lot of money in the hospital, but he maintains it has been the best day of his life. He then notices that March has fallen asleep. Healy then drives away, passing Holly, who is reading a book in a dark yard. He approaches her and discovers that her mother passed away as a result of an accidental gas explosion, which March missed due to his lack of sense of smell. Holly asks Healy if he killed Blueface. He denies it. Healy and March are set to resume working the next morning, but March has already started drinking. Holly accuses him of being ignorant and the worst investigator ever. Healy recounts the details of the note he discovered at Shattuck's residence, believing Amelia had written it. March concludes that the message is for an apartment complex, not a flight. The two head out to the area, but that building has been destroyed for years. Later, they pass by the airport hotel and realize the information was for a hotel's room number. Healy and March enter the hotel and ask the bartender about Amelia. After Healy bangs his face into the counter, the bartender claims to have seen Amelia take an elevator upstairs and that John Boy may also be up there. After debating whether or not to go up there, the two enter the elevator to the floor where Amelia could be. They discover a dying man with his neck slashed, followed by a man who has been shot repeatedly till he falls out of the window. Healy and March decide to leave, but Healy stops as he wants to help Amelia, but March thinks she is already dead. Surprisingly, she lands on their car and shoots them before the recoil knocks her feet off, and she falls unconscious. They bring Amelia to March's house, where Holly is with her friend Jessica. After Amelia wakes up, she tells them the truth that her mother is behind the killings because of the movie Amelia made to protest against car companies' air pollution. Kuttner is working with the car manufacturers to prevent the film from being shown. Tally then calls March, asking him to make a drop with a money-filled suitcase. March informs her they got Amelia, and Tally tells him she is sending the family doctor over. Healy and March get the money, but March falls asleep at the wheel and dreams that a giant killer bee is in the back smoking a cigarette. Healy breaks March out of it, but they crash into water barrels, prompting the briefcase to fall out and scatter the contents everywhere. It's not money but a bunch of paper clippings. At home, Holly answers the door to find a man claiming to be the family doctor to see Amelia. However, Holly soon realizes that it is John Boy. She goes for her dad's gun, concealed in a cookie jar. He threatens to cut Holly with his knife. Jessica tries to escape, but John Boy throws her out of the window. The guys soon return home just as John Boy leaves. He pulls a firearm from his trunk and launches it at them. March rushes in to rescue Jessica and bring her inside. He hides her in the closet along with Holly and Amelia. Holly returns March's gun. Healy fires at John Boy and flees. When he hears police sirens approaching, John Boy escapes. Amelia flees through the window and onto the street. She stops John Boy's vehicle for help. He shoots Amelia and leaves her dead in the street. Healy and March feel terrible after Amelia's murder, but the case takes a significant turn when Mrs. Glenn reappears. She claims once more that she spotted Misty wearing a pinstripe jacket outside her window. When Healy mentions seeing the identical jacket at Shattuck's place, March decides to go to Misty's house. They see a projector positioned at the window, and Healy recounts seeing the film's reel at Shattuck's, implying that Mrs. Glenn only saw Misty through the picture projected on her window. The guys realize there is another reel, and Amelia plans to expose it to distributors at an automobile event later that day with projectionist Chet. Mrs. Glenn cries when she realizes Misty is indeed dead. The guys attend the event with Holly. They get to the projection room looking for the film's reel but can't find it. Suddenly, Tally enters the room and corners them, admitting that she killed Misty. Holly arrives pretending to be the room service and tosses coffee in Tally's face, but it's cold and has no effect on her until Tally slips and knocks herself unconscious, allowing the guys and Holly to flee. Meanwhile, John Boy finds Chet and takes him away. Healy later discovers Chet nearly half dead in the trash, and Chet tells him the reel is spliced into the middle and added to another film. Holly overhears Older Guy and John Boy discussing their plan. Older Guy notices Holly and takes her back to March at gunpoint before bringing them both to the hotel's roof. March instructs Holly to duck before whacking Older Guy over the head. March then shoots Older Guy 3 times. He grabs Holly, but March pushes her away and Older Guy splashes on the concrete while March lands in the pool. The movie begins to play for everyone at the party to watch. It includes Misty's character speaking against Bergen Paulson, the head of the automobile company. Paulson notices it and directs his guys to find the film. Holly enters the projector room to find Tally has woken up. Holly fights Tally and throws the film out the window, prompting Healy, March, and the baddies to chase it down. After a long chase, March finally gets the film, while Healy battles John Boy. Holly comes in and finds Healy strangling John Boy. She swears she will never talk to him again if he murders John Boy. Healy lets go, only knocking out John Boy's lights. The cops arrive shortly after. Healy and March head to the Department of Justice building one last time to confront Kuttner. She expresses no regret for her daughter's killing, and even though she knows she'll go to jail, she swears that someone worse than her will take over next. Later, March meets Holly at a restaurant and then sits with Healy at the bar, where they debate how carmakers got away with insufficient evidence, and March believes that they'll be driving electric cars within 5 years. March has even named his agency the Nice Guys. They have another case in which a lady believes her husband is having an affair with Linda Carter, the Wonder Woman. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button below to see more like it.